points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
President Museveni assents to the NSSF Midterm Access Amendment Bill 2021. Schools prepare for reopening amidst COVID-19 challenges. Africa to face increasing cyber attacks in 2022. And in sports, it's 5 days to the 33rd edition of AFCON that will be live on UBC TV and other platforms.
Was brought to you by Everywhere You Go, MTN.
Thank you so much for joining in. It's me, Micheal Lukomwa, with Elizabeth Nakakoni. News Tonight, the second edition. President Yoweri Museveni has received a booster dose against COVID-19 at his home in Rakitura, Kiruhura district. Speaking to the nation, the president urged Ugandans aged 18 years and above to get vaccinated as one of the only ways to fully reopen the economy.
President Yoweri Museveni has received his COVID-19 booster vaccine at his country home in Rakitura, Kiruhura district. The president got his Pfizer booster dose almost 10 months after his first COVID-19 dose to improve his immunity following the outbreak of the fast-spreading Omicron variant.
My doctors, Dr. Diana Twine and Dr. Magova, an army officer, they have just given me a booster dose. According to my statement in the New Year speech, I told you that we are going, the efforts we are going to rely on to open the economy and the society where vaccination, full vaccination for the 18 years and above, who are 22 million. But also booster doses for the, I think there are 3.3 million people above the age of 50. A constituency where I very rightfully fit. Because I'm not 50, I'm now 50 plus 27. So we said that this group should get a booster dose.
Speaking to the nation, the president appealed to Ugandans to get fully vaccinated to beat the virus and reopen the economy.
Otherwise, all of you who are above 18 get the 2 doses. Now, Atwine this time brought another clan of vaccine. That debate had come in our meetings, whether mixing vaccines was all right. They are now saying it is not only all right, but even better. That's what they are saying now.
The president said he has got reports that even with the new Omicron variant, people have been fully vaccinated, quickly overcome it.
The Omicron, but after being vaccinated fully, they just get a little fever, and then they are through. Naruhima told me somebody she knows, the ones who was working in a bond house, whom she knew, who had refused to be vaccinated, when he got this, he died. And the ones who have been vaccinated, they just feel a little bit sick and get over it. So please, gunosimuzanyo mwena musutukiremu babageme.
According to research, 3 COVID-19 vaccines are now authorized for use to prevent COVID-19, and the 3-dose course of AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine is effective against the rapidly spreading Omicron coronavirus variant. In December 2021, the Minister of Health approved the use of COVID-19 booster shot for some people aged 50 years and above, and for those with comorbidities to further enhance their immunity after a period of 6 months from their primary vaccination. This comes at a time the country braces for a new wave of the pandemic. Bernard Higa, UBC News.
President Yoweri Museveni has assented to the NSSF Midterm Access Amendment Bill of 2021 to provide midterm access to the contributors and remove restrictions on access for voluntary savings. The presidential assent follows the passing of the NSSF Midterm Access Bill of 2021 by Parliament on the 24th of November 2021, as we see it with Susan Nawonga.
The parliamentary debate that has culminated into presidential assent into the NSSF Midterm Access Bill 2021 was on November 24th, when the Committee of the Whole House convened to discuss and pass the report of the Committee of Gender, Labour and Social Development on the NSSF bill.
What form of instrument do we want? Do we want to bring this administrative?
The House voted to amend Section 24A of the Principal Act to allow workers who are 45 years and above and have served for at least 10 years to have midterm access of up to 20%, and those with a disability have access to at least 50% of their accrued savings.
We are now saying that a voluntary member has unfettered access, meaning they can access up to 100%.
The NSSF bill was first passed by the 10th Parliament on 17th February 2021, but was returned to the House by President Yoweri Museveni and later retabled in the 11th Parliament. During the debate of the bill, MPs agreed that only mandatory contributors are eligible to midterm access, subject to their age and years of contribution, while voluntary contributors access their savings as and when they so wish, subject to prescribed regulations to be prescribed by the minister in consultation with the board.
It will not apply to voluntary savers because their conditions of access are different.
However, with the presidential assent to the bill, this means that the new law under Section 13A further grants the minister power to prescribe regulations in consultation with the board, the procedure of making voluntary contributions and benefits. A flashback by the Attorney General's submission on the floor of Parliament, he guided that whereas the voluntary contributors will not be subject to terms and conditions under Section 24A as amended, the procedures for them to make their contribution and access their savings will be regulated.
Any statutory instrument which is made which exceeds the powers set in the principles or the sections of the law is null and void and shall not happen on my watch.
The Chief Opposition Whip, John Baptist Nambeshe's proposal to have midterm access for both mandatory and voluntary contributors was overruled by the Speaker of Parliament. The Leader of Opposition, Matthias Mpuga, however, cautioned the executive against enacting statutory instruments that would further make it unfavorable for voluntary savers.
The tendencies in these funds that the delays will become so inordinate.
On the supervisory role of NSSF, Parliament also voted that the Minister of Gender takes the lead in handling social security matters, while Minister of Finance handles only financial and investment of funds. The new law, as assented to by the President, clips the power of the Managing Director by revoking his or her voting right as an ex-officio member of the board to avoid conflict of interest. As past Section 13A of the new NSSF Act provides a tough deferment penalty to employers who deduct a voluntary contribution and fail to remit to the fund. In accordance with the new law, also an employer who offends this section will pay 20% of the amount deducted, but not remitted.
UBC News Tonight. Some schools in Kampala seem ready to handle cases of COVID-19 that may arise as schools reopen on the 10th of January. UBC visited some schools where facilities have been put in place to isolate learners, parents and teachers, and also equipped clinics and sick bays to handle primary treatment of COVID-19.
The first step to identify a suspect of COVID-19 is through checking temperature to allow one access any premises. Schools have procured temperature guns to check all visitors and learners as they reopen for the 2022 academic year. The work to enforce standard operating procedures and follow-up cases of COVID-19 has been allocated to the COVID-19 committees and task force created by schools as guided by the Ministry of Education and Sports.
We have the temperature guns, we have the hand washing facilities.
Have enough temperature guns to take their temperatures.
Ensure that children are checked frequently on arrival, during lunchtime, and even before they go home.
It is not the first time that schools are going to handle COVID-19 cases. Many say they learned from the previous experience when candidates were allowed to resume school in 2020 during the first wave. They immediately put in place facilities like isolation rooms for those COVID-19 suspects to keep the rest safe. However, this time round, given the speed at which the current variant spreads, Nakasero Primary School is to expand their room to at least 4 to 5 cubicles.
Portioning it up, making some about 4 or 5 cubicles within the room, such that in case we have any more than one, they can be there without necessarily getting scared that so and so has seen me this.
In addition to having a sick bay with qualified nurse, Kololo Senior Secondary School has put up an isolation room with 6 cubicles.
These rooms are reserved as rest rooms where we monitor these children and see whether really the temperatures are persisting.
Victoria's Education Services partnered with Cambridge Medical Centre to provide medical services in school, including treating COVID-19 patients.
The medical point, the clinic at school, then we also have the isolation room. So these two places are going to work hand in hand to ensure that the pupils who are infected don't get mixed up or entangled with others.
Most of the schools have partnered with nearby hospitals to come to their rescue in case they get cases beyond their management.
Either the division or the main city hall and the hospitals around us, including Nakasero Hospital, we believe that we are in collaboration and we shall get quick attention.
And we are in close touch with the Naguru Referral Hospital. Whenever there is a case, immediately these children are rushed to Naguru Hospital. But
also near Mengo Hospital, that also empowers us with a medical team. They are ever on ground to see whether there are any challenges.
Schools, in addition, plan to empower learners with knowledge in case they get symptoms, they rush to the sick bay, while others have procured masks to give pupils, especially in lower primary. I'm Nafka Farida and Daniel Lukomwa in Kampala.
Educationists are still worried on whether a number of schools will be in position to reopen for learners following several underlying challenges. According to Christopher Kawesa Chiwanuka, many schools are heavily indebted and can no longer facilitate their survival. Susan Naonga has this in detail.
On 10th January 2022, all schools across the country will kickstart the full reopening after 2 years of closure following the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. Although government rolled out plans to reopen all education institutions, chances are, however, high that some may not reopen as planned or even never. A number of schools, especially privately owned, were sold off, while others were turned into different business undertakings like hotels and bars. Others were attached to money lenders and banks due to delayed loan servicing. To those that will stand a test of reopening, the justification lies in exorbitant hiking of tuition fees.
The children who have gone to senior 2, you cannot teach them senior 2 work without completing senior 1 work. But we are not demanding any extra fees.
Besides financial incapability, many schools have also lost teachers to competitors and other employment sectors other than education.
We are in touch with our staff, both the teaching and non-teaching staff. A few of them we have not been able to get where they are.
Obviously, there are teachers who have realized that they can earn more when they are not in class and doing other things.
They have also differed from the government plan of refraining unvaccinated teachers and learners from accessing education premises without vaccination.
We can decide to vaccinate all teachers who are returning to be vaccinated at school.
The best strategy would be receive them at school, take stock of those who are vaccinated and those who are not vaccinated, organize health workers, come and vaccinate them, and proceed with safe reopening.
Over the 2 years, a number of learners have turned into teenage mothers and fathers. Though it's worrying, but it calls for special programs to reorient both learners and teachers into an extraordinary coexistence.
So many learners, the females, have been impregnated. This is a very dangerous situation.
We need to calm them down so that they can suit in the situation.
Also, because of the transition process of learners, concerted efforts accompanied with a pay rise might be mandatory to boost morale of teachers.
There is a need to look into the welfare of the teachers.
Several educational institutions survive on financial loans from commercial banks. The closure of schools in March 2020, however, left many commercial institutions incapacitated to servicing their loans borrowed from different financial institutions. Guided by the central bank, Stanbic Bank was able to give relief packages to their clients ranging from extension of repayment periods, reduction in interest rates, among others.
We are part of the solution. We will not sell, and we did not sell any school as a result of not paying debt during these 2 years.
In their extended services, Stanbic Bank has also come up with a boost financial solution to advance loans to institutions that already have loans, overdrafts at lower interest rates, among others.
Of course, we are not going to charge processing fees. So if someone applies for a loan as low as 100,000 or 500 or $1 million, you will get exactly what you have applied for.
It should be noted that the closure of schools in March followed the outbreak of a deadly respiratory disease, COVID-19. Susan Nawonga reporting for UBC TV.
All learning institutions are due to reopen with the fear on adherence to standard operating procedures to scale down the spread of COVID-19 among the learners. Private school owners say that the lockdown pushed them out of business, especially staff, rent, utility bills, and things like that.
The opening of schools has taken the country by storm, with parents and teachers bracing for learners to return to school. Nabasha Edward Atoki, the head teacher Mandela SS Hoima, says staff is fully vaccinated, but appealed to district health officials to work with school administrators to avail the vaccination centers at school campuses.
If the district authority would favor us, so that on that same day we have the health facilitators on the campus, it would be better, so that they come on campus, whoever has not got the injection can get.
Meanwhile, Mandela SS Chairman Board of Directors Dr. Lawrence Bategeka says that COVID-19 has left many businesses closed, although the school is ready to reopen with SOPs and isolation areas of suspected cases in place.
Well, they have been studied for a long time and observe SOPs so that we continue with the service. But we also stand ready to isolate any of the cases that we suspect to be a problem or taking them to hospital timely. We would rather, in our view, manage the challenge than keeping them out of the school.
Daniel Dennis Mutatina of Central School Hoima says parents should not worry because as school managers, they are aware of the economic situation in the country, so there is need for parents to work together with the school administrators to strike a balance on the mode of paying school fees.
For learners who had paid their school fees last time but did not study,
doing those ones as special cases, we shall not charge them extra, no, or we shall not make them pay again because they paid but they never studied. But for all those who never cleared, then those ones we shall have to talk to them, reach an agreement, and be able to have our learners study.
The Katikkiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, has advised parents and other stakeholders to counsel students and children before schools resume. The Katikkiro was launching the Go Back to School campaign intending to rehabilitate students and children in general at Bulange Menga.
Buganda Kingdom has launched a Go Back to School campaign where parents and concerned people have been urged to advise learners who seem to have lost hope of going back to school. The Katikkiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, launched the campaign and advised parents staying with students who got pregnant to encourage them to go back to school.
We urge the parents to be close to their children, to counsel them about the importance of education. It's the duty of the parents to impress it upon their children that education is the route to success.
He appealed to students not to be taken by earnings they had got during the lockdown and encouraged the public to get vaccinated. He discloses that the Kingdom has organized a mass vaccination at all counties starting 29th and 30th of this month.
The campaign envisages taking back children to school and to not let the children get carried away by the 2-year period during which they've been at home. But what's important is for everyone within the Kingdom who is above the age of 18, especially teachers and non-teaching staff working in schools, but also including students who are above 18, to go for the jabs. We encourage you to disregard all the rumors spreading on social media platforms about the effects of the COVID-19 jabs.
The Minister for Education in Buganda Kingdom, in her message delivered by the Buganda Attorney General, asserts that the public has hope that the campaign will bear fruits. The chairperson of the Buganda Education Board, Deborah Zawede, condemns teachers that have started getting forged vaccination cards.
It's very unfortunate that in today's newspapers, many teachers have forged certificates, jabs, which is very unfortunate. So we encourage them. We understand the pain they are going through, but we cannot continue crying. We need to wake up and move. So the teachers and also students above 18 years need to go for these vaccinations so that they can acquire their education well.
Lydia Chomkama, Andrew Sebida, UBC News.
100 schools in the 5 divisions of Kampala are likely not to resume for studies come Monday, the 10th of January 2022. These, mostly under the private setting, have either been taken over by moneylenders or business banks after directors have failed to meet the accumulated areas.
With a few days remaining to the official reopening of institutions of learning, many of them are in advanced preparations in order to receive back learners. The worst scenario is that many schools around Kampala will not open for classes.
This place here, it was a school, consuming almost half of our population. But sad to note that due to loans, the owner of this school end up selling it to reduce on the loans of the bank.
Most of these being privately owned, the directors have in some cases switched to other income-generating activities.
And many of these schools are schools that were in rented premises. Some of these schools are people who got loans. Some are those who directly looked for lenders to lend them money for survival. So all of these schools are among those 98 we are talking about. There is change of use, of which we think it is time that the Minister of Education comes out, the Office of the Prime Minister, so it is time to come in and see how we can help these schools to cope up.
This chair where I'm seated, I can guess or anticipate it was one of the chairs of the school administrators. If I'm not mistaken, I can even say it was a chair where the head of the school or a head teacher was always seated for his daily operations here at Lunguja Model Primary School. The bad news is that as we head to next week's school reopening, this premises has been changed. Now clothes have been designed and gazetted here to ensure that now rentals are being constructed in this place. The most worrying situation in this community of Lunguja is that there is no government-aided primary school which will very soon accommodate the highest number of pupils which were coming here for classes. I was told that almost this school has been a home to over 800 pupils within this ghetto-founded school, and now parents and local leaders are left at the crossroads as to where and when will they be in position to take back their children for further education.
We are not happy with the situation going on, and we are worried. Where are we going to take our children to school?
Many cannot access simply because government schools are far away, and many are not in the reach of the parents. So the private schools bridge this gap. Therefore, we think government should take it important, especially at this time, to see that this campaign we are in, all children go back to school, but they will have to go in schools that are open.
Still in Rubaga Division, BZB Preparatory School located along Kampala-Busega Road is another institute likely not to reopen. In some schools we have toured, the environment inside shows there will be no classes come Monday, 10th January 2022. This is Pearl Infant in Rubaga Division. 2 years ago this was a preparatory school, but now it has been turned into a rental premises.
When they locked us down, we put in rentals for survival. The 2 years down, at least we have managed to get some rentals. We get tenants, they pay monthly. At least we are surviving on rent.
Jole Kids Kabusu, Ndeba Junior Primary School, Kabalega SS are among the 33 privately owned education centers in Rubaga Division which are not returning for classes. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Today in history.
On the 4th of January 1953, hundreds of blacks assembled in the township outside Cape Town to protest against the new Pass Law. The Pass Law Act of 1952 required black South African women over the age of 16 to carry a passbook known as Dompas. Delivering a fiery speech to the crowd, Dora Tamana, a member of ANC Women's League and founding member of the Federation of South African Women, appealed to the young Africans to come forward and fight.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more Seku points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 Seku points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More Seku points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your Seku points, dial *141#. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Raising voices.
As a community member, I think we need to change in the way we act in response to violence against children. In my small way, I can be a leader in preventing violence in my community. I promise to work with my neighbor to create violence-free homes and communities for our children.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Transact and win money after money money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs.
My name is Sulga Morris. I'm an Airtel Money agent. I'm from Chibuli here. That's where I operate from. I won 2 million shillings. This is great, guys. Go for this. This is for real.
The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Capital Shoppers, we have a variety of items like gift hampers, foods, garments, cosmetics, and all sorts of drinks. Enjoy your shopping experience this festive season at affordable prices in our fully stocked branches in the following areas: in Tinder Stretcher Road, opposite Makere Business School along Port Bell Road, Duster Street opposite Nakasero Market, and Garden City on Yusuf Lule.
For watching and welcome you back from the break. Uganda Land Fund cash has caused a rift between Land Commission commissioners, its chairperson Beatrice Biencha Nyakaisiki, and some officials in the Lands Ministry. This has been disclosed by the chairperson Uganda Land Commission Beatrice Biencha Nyakaisiki in a press conference following a recommendation by the Inspector General of Government to the Lands Minister to interdict her.
The chairperson, Uganda Land Commission, Beatrice Biencha Nyakaisiki, has refuted allegations of her interdiction as Uganda Land Commission chairperson boss. Ms. Nyakaisiki says the commission is grappling with many challenges, including persons with godfathers running the commission.
And everybody in Uganda knows anything connected to land is a sensitive matter, is a matter that concerns everybody. So that's why I think we have been in the press for all the wrong reasons. We work as an institution, but believe you me, we have other influence from outside, people wanting to interfere, people wanting to see that their goals or agendas are, I think, are played upon by the commission. So those are some of the challenges that we have. And you find people with godparents, and Nyakaisiki, Honorable Bambi, I don't have a godparent, but I was just appointed by the grace of God by His Excellency the President.
Nyakaisiki says 18% of Uganda Land Commission land has been encroached on, prompting her to recommend for formation of an enforcement team to secure government land.
Of course, I have been getting threats. Yes, I've been getting threats, but I stay put. I stay put. And some of you know me very well. I stay put. I don't hurry to say everything at the same time. I say what I feel I have to say. For instance, in this press conference, I have said a tenth of what I know.
Over 600 people are to be paid from the land fund, but Nyakaisiki says there is a challenge of recycling names of the beneficiaries. However, to her dismay, she was denied the list of the beneficiaries.
That's one of the challenges I've been facing, and we have been facing as a commission. You can't find all of the list. There's a list somewhere in Bank of Uganda, there's a list somewhere in the Ministry of Finance, and then Uganda Land Commission, bits and pieces of here and there. And we were looking at some literature. It was about, I think, August 2020. We just landed on a list from somewhere, and we found that over 677 people had been fully paid with their names on. Just landed on it. But then it's not complete. And as I told you, it's a challenge to get the list. Why? Because some of the people are being recycled.
She says as a chairperson of Uganda Land Commission, she has managed to reduce non-authorized payments amidst challenges.
But as the chief executive who's here full time, I managed to see, and I called the members. We had an extraordinary board meeting.
Government needs between 200 and 400 billion shillings to pay landlords in order to solve the land fund problem. On the issue of commissioners supporting her interdiction, Bianca says it's the dynamics and politics taking place and that government land is not safe.
But then there's a court order, interim court order. So the interim court order just deflates everything. And I won't say much more about that because I'm in court.
Shortly after the press briefing, Inspectorate of Government officers, together with Police Criminal Investigating Department, forcefully broke into the office of Uganda Land Commission Chairperson Nyakaisiki, demanding her exit. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Government is set to conduct a countrywide payment verification exercise to harmonize extension of emoluments to deceased and living former military servants. State Minister for Veteran Affairs Oleru Huda Abeson says that the exercise aims at ensuring payroll integrity for smooth payment of gratuity and pension for military veterans. This was during a press briefing at the Media Center where UPDF spokesperson Brigadier Flavia Biekwaso announced the exercise as the last of the kind.
The backlog for pending payments of veterans and their survivors is still big, with 11,000 so far paid out of the expected 68,000. This is the reason why 1 billion Uganda shillings has been earmarked for a countrywide verification exercise.
Our veterans cutters for all the groups that have held or that have always been part of the government right before independence to date.
Some of the reasons behind this are to address family conflicts, eliminate fraud, and promote integrity in the payment of veterans and survivors' benefits.
That's when you know who died, who passed on in retirement, who is receiving money when you are not supposed to receive that money according to the law. All that will be cleared.
One of the victims of such fraud is youthful Atek Zainabu, a resident of Gulu in northern Uganda. Her father, the late Lieutenant Colonel John Angelo Okello, was a rebel leader in the late 1980s. Shortly after talking peace and signing a peace agreement with the NRM government in 1988, he died. His wife, Rose Akong, was granted her late husband's benefits, but before she could receive them, she also passed away in 1996, leaving the money to accumulate.
So for me, what I'm requesting the government to help, there's nothing more that I need to rebury my dad in a decent, with a decent burial and to pay his benefit.
Atek, who was the only child that the couple had, knew about this in 2010, following someone claiming to be her mother and was taking her father's benefits. To date, her attempts to have this changed and benefits extended to her as the rightful beneficiary have not yielded any fruits.
This person claims to be my mother and I'm a total orphan. I don't know that lady. So I want the government to help me do their possible ways to help us as the children of the ex-soldiers.
Such are some of the fraudulent undertakings that the upcoming countrywide verification exercise is seeking to address.
This exercise will target all the veterans and estate administrators as well as the widows and widowers already receiving this month pension.
All that the veterans and their survivors have to do is to embrace the exercise as it is reported to be the last of this kind.
Whoever will not be verified this time round, that means that will be their end. We shall not receive any more claimants from this going forward. This exercise is slated to take place from 17th January 2022 to 4 February 2022.
The extent to which the upcoming verification exercise will address any misgivings in the process is a question which only time will answer. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Machindia Grade 1 Magistrates Court has issued an order compelling security operatives for a non-conditional release of renowned author Kakwenza Rukirabashaija. The order followed the habeas corpus application filed by Kakwenza's legal team asking court to compel the security system to produce him without fail.
It's been a week since the arrest of Kakwenza Rukirabashaija by security operatives from his home situated in Kisas, Kampala. Following his arrest on 28th December 2021, CID spokesperson Charles Twine Monday revealed to the public Mr. Kakwenza's whereabouts, highlighting that he's under police custody. According to Twine, Kakwenza Rukirabashaija is held on charges related to offensive communication using his Twitter handle when he allegedly abused the President Yoweri Museveni and the Commander UPDF Land Forces, Lieutenant General Kaine Lugaba.
You know, abusive has no platform, even socially, in our different cultures, and even legally. Even the most known politicians here of opposition have not used some of these words. You can challenge the system. You can challenge the method of work, but you don't go personal.
It is against this backdrop that lawyers representing Kakwenza filed a habeas corpus application at Machindia Grade 1 Magistrates Court, asking court to compel security operatives to release him without fail. Basing her ruling on this application, Magistrate Irene Nambati of Machindia Magistrates Court has issued an order compelling police to unconditionally release Mr. Kakwenza.
And we are expecting police to comply with that order immediately as by law required. If they disregard the court order, we shall cite them for contempt and have them pay huge fines and attach their salaries as individuals who have failed to obey the court order.
Although Kakwenza was made to be produced at Buganda Road Court Tuesday afternoon, as per the CID spokesperson's communication, all was in vain.
They have failed to produce him, like they have been failing to produce him since Friday, Monday, and now Tuesday.
Lawyers also cited torture, which is allegedly to have been inflicted on their client during and after arrest.
Yesterday, SFC, which has been detaining him since 28th, took him to his Iganga home, and the wife met him, and the wife saw a tortured, urinating blood husband whom she requested them to take him to court, even if it means 1,000 applications, as long as there are 1,000 tortures. So yes, we shall challenge the legality and condemn once again on court record the heinous torture that SFC is meting out on our client.
Kakwenza Rukirabashaija was arrested on 28th December 2021 from his home in Kisas, Kampala by joint security operatives, and if produced in court, is likely to face charges related to offensive communication, which he allegedly committed through his Twitter handle at Kakwenza Rukira. The offences are said to disturb the president's person and the Commander Land Forces UPDF, Lieutenant General Kaine Lugaba's peace. According to the Computer Misuse Act of 2011, under Section 25, any person found guilty on charges related to offensive communication is likely to face a sentence of 1 year in prison or to pay fine of 480,000 Ugandan shillings, or both, basing on the presiding magistrate's decision in this court. Kakwenza Rukirabashaija is a prominent novelist. Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC.
State Minister for Economic Monitoring Peter Wang has dismissed claims of inhumane arrests of engineers contracted for various local government and municipal council infrastructure in eastern Uganda. This is in reaction to a press release issued by the Uganda Institute of Professional Engineers on the 31st of December 2021, accusing the State Minister of demeaning treatment to its members who were arrested for shoddy work on the contracted projects.
Several district engineers in eastern Uganda
have been arrested in the recent months due to incompetent service delivery.
They must be paid their money. The contractor must be someone. This is a contact person.
This is what led to the issuing of a press release by the Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers.
I expect the Association of Professional Engineers to come out and talk to their colleagues. The way they have been carrying out some of the works is totally unprofessional. And this, I personally spoke with the president. When I saw this press release, I personally spoke to him and I told him, sir, I was also going to write to him, citing cases of unprofessionalism among some of these engineers.
According to a field report by the State Minister after site visits in the region, there are 143 cases filed against engineers on grounds of underperformance on contracted local government infrastructure projects.
I have a meeting on Friday in this office and we are all agreed we are not going to any other sub-region until we first prosecute these ones. Now that they are saying no conclusive investigations have taken place, I want to confirm investigations are complete.
The State Minister also cites threats on his life by a district engineer while supervising a site.
A case in point, I almost lost my life in Kaliro. Who wanted to knock me? It was a district engineer of Kaliro. So if an engineer can want to knock a minister, what was my offense? To carry out my constitutional mandate and duty. Which bodies allow such acts to continue? So such an engineer who attempts to knock a minister, and if police arrests him in such a manner, then how should you be able to say, I am the one who is not doing the correct thing?
Efforts to get a comment from Ben Chembo, the president of the Uganda Institution of Professional Engineers, who authored the statement, were in vain by Press Time Today.
You know, you ask me.
Minister for Works and Transport Fred Byamukama has clarified on road use as the country prepares to reopen the economy. He hinted on fuel prices and also advised the public about COVID-19 vaccination and how it will affect the movements.
Even put on a mask, then also you should leave the windows open, no use of AC. Now there are these wise ones who are planning to forge the vaccination cards. I'm telling you, if you don't want to be vaccinated, you have an option. Because very soon Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, Sirini Tayu, is developing an app. Because we know the vaccination card, it has got digits or numbers where you can put it in a phone or anywhere. It shows Sunday so was vaccinated on this and this day and from this and this facility. So those ones will say, my card, I forgot it home, my vaccination card, it got lost. So that one you have no excuse. Because whoever is vaccinated, data is controlled at the Ministry of Health. That's where the center is. So we know who is not.
Police in Hoima is holding 2 suspected vehicle thieves identified as Johnson Mujisa and Sam Kato, both residents of Lusaka village in Hoima. The suspects were arrested on Sunday night by security operatives who were enforcing curfew at around 9 p.m. Security sources say that the suspects were found loading scrap of heavy vehicles behind Naruhima bar in Hoima city. It is alleged that the suspects have been stealing vehicles from various companies currently constructing oil roads in Bunyoro region. The Albertine police spokesperson Julius Hakiza told UBC that the suspects were using the impounded Toyota Mark II car, registration number UAS 539Q, and motorcycle Bajaj, registration number UEF 205A, to transport the scrap.
Musajja agambye abadde mu ruumu yamwe ne muwa extra charges najja kutasa Muganda. Muganda
wange ataba abadde badde.
Ebiseera ebimu tubakabuze bakubyanka.
Ana nyumba ile mbele mimi na yeye nenda kufuna kasema ngamba isoba dia kumpesa.
Bakolaganza sente zinga.
Woman Member of Parliament for Wakiso District Betty Naruhima wants government to reduce taxes imposed on piped water in order to reduce on the diseases caused by poor hygiene. Naruhima was commissioning new boreholes in Wakiso District.
These are residents of Onsawa village and Seta in Wakiso district, eagerly waiting for the annual boreholes to be inaugurated. For a long time, these residents walked long distances looking for water for domestic use, which negatively impacted their productivity. Inaugurating the boreholes, the woman member of parliament Wakiso district, Betty Naruhima, said inadequacy of water in the area has led to numerous cases of teenage pregnancies.
Young children who have got unwanted pregnancies, some of them are looking for water. We want to solve it, but ensuring we provide this water, but this is a temporary solution. We expect, first of all, that tariffs to go down on Meme and the power tariffs, and also to ensure that even we have public pipes at each and every town of Wakiso.
According to the residents, the water they have been using is not clean enough, which has led to outbreak of diseases associated with poor hygiene.
nga batekamu ebiyigo bibeera pipe z'ebiyigo zifulumira omwo mu mazzi ategetusena kwe kulaba nga tuswasobola okuba nti olw'okulaakulana eze mu kitundu kwe kulaba nga tukyalina mazzi mayonjo tetwekubira omulanga eri gavumenti isobola tutusaako enkola yonna ey'okulaba nga tufuula amazzi amayonjo
ag'omudumu ng'enkuba yatonye tusobola gasenamu nga gonna gabeera makyafu gabeera gawunya n'omwala gwonna nga gwabotokabotoka balwala nnyo omusujja basesema nnyo oluusi baddukana olw'amazzi ago oluusi ge basena baana banywa bunywa oluusi tebalinda mafumbe.
Mr. Robonente John, who spearheaded the construction of the boreholes, says these boreholes will help reduce on domestic violence in communities, since clean water has been extended to communities.
To solve many problems like typhoid, cholera, and other diseases that are caused by unsafe water. And also trying to solve domestic violence in families, because all believe that families are being destroyed by such reasons, where a woman is going to water and then get problems on her way they are raped.
I am Mary Namkose for UBC News.
For watching, let's enjoy this very short break. We have more on return.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs.
My name is Suga Morris. I'm an Airtel Money agent. I'm from Chibuli here. That's where I operate from. I won 2 million shillings. This is great, guys. Go for this. This is for real.
The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles. Valid for 3 months. Dial *175 hash and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles. Valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The global COVID-19 pandemic led the nation to 2 years of unprecedented learning, disruptions and closures. Now it is the time when the country is getting focused on upcoming school reopening. This is not a time for despair. this is a time to deepen community engagement for safer schools reopening. Rural Broadcasters Owners Association (RUBA), in partnership with Ministry of Education, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, World of Bingwa, Teacher Talk Magazine, and Stanbic Bank will engage parents, learners, teachers, school proprietors through an inclusive National Safe Back to School Symposium. The National SB2S Symposium is a countrywide 3 days of deliberation hosted at UBC and aired simultaneously via radio stations and televisions from Monday 3rd January to Wednesday 5th January 2022 from 11 a.m. to midday. The speakers will include the Minister from Education, Youth and Child Affairs, leaders of teachers' unions, school proprietors, parents and private sector. The speakers will be supported by media personalities to convey messages in different languages as well as igniting conversations customized to geographical and social reach. Do not miss. Let's discuss safe school reopening.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more Secu points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 Secu points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More Secu points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your Secu points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
UBC News Tonight. Thank you so much for watching. In business news this evening, Ugandan National Roads Authority, UNRA, has announced that tolling operations at the Entebbe Expressway will start this Saturday, the 8th of January 2022. The money to be collected by Aegis Operations SPA, a French company, on government's behalf will be used to finance the operations and maintenance of the expressway.
In 2012, the government of Uganda secured a loan from the Exim Bank, which was used to construct Entebbe Express Highway. The money was to be paid with interest of 2% annually. All motorists using this road will be charged a fee of 5,000 shillings per route for small cars and 10,000 shillings for trucks. UBC TV talked to the contract manager, Entebbe Express Highway engineer Julius Musinguzi, who says they are set to start charging all motorists using the road.
No, we have been educating people, but now we are intensifying in this week. From now to 8th, we are intensifying the campaign. That you realize that on the plazas, now people are being stopped and being briefed of what is going to happen come 8th. They are being briefed where to buy the cards.
To get a pass card loaded with a given amount of money, which will be deducted each time the motorists use the road. Issuing pass cards to motorists at a no cost has started, and the pass charge will start on the 8th of January 2022.
Yeah, as we agreed that we're going to start the commercial operations of tolling in January, we have started the process. As of now, we are issuing cards, and all the users who intend to use the road are coming on and buying their cards in readiness to start. We shall hit the road. We shall do the commercial transactions starting on the 8th of January.
Julius says drivers will be given a discount on using the pass card, but this will not apply to those paying with cash.
Just come and tap. You tap. Then the classification will be given, then the toll booth will, the boom will open, and then you pass.
Other thing to note here is that only the presidential convoy and the emergency cars will be exempted from the pass charge. Tumwine Brian Biaruhanga, UBC News.
UBC News Tonight. Supply chain cyber attacks will become more common in 2022, says Checkpoint Research in its cybersecurity predictions for the new year. The predictions outline some of the key challenges that organizations are said to face. Supply chain attackers take advantage of a lack of monitoring to perform different types of cyber attacks, from data breaches to malware infections.
Continent-wide cybersecurity concern is the increasing number of ransomware or cyber extortion attacks.
Only 30% of the public services organization that participated said they are prepared for this threat. And I guess the key takeaway, what I found, is that 5% of the participants that we surveyed said they would pay out in case they were attacked. 4% said they did pay out.
Cyber attacks come in many forms, and businesses and countries react and cope differently. But when it comes to advanced persistent threat attacks, they are generally state-sponsored and go largely undetected, sometimes for years. Everyone is equally exposed.
I would say that no one is prepared for advanced persistent threat attacks, no one, because they would use our zero-day exploits and there wouldn't be a 100% protection for such kind of threats. But on average, South Africa does good compared to some regions on the world regarding cyber criminal mass-scale attacks.
Looking ahead to 2022, and IT security managers are worried about the actions of the US authorities as they go after the ransomware gangs, driving them to other continents.
We will see more attacks, particularly against critical infrastructure. And something that has been forecasted on a global scale is that the ransom demands will become higher. These guys have money to spend. They will buy what's called zero-day vulnerabilities to make their attacks more efficient. And it's just a much bigger threat than it's already been this year.
Ganeva says that advanced persistent threat attacks are an increasing reality on the continent.
APT actors that were not present here before would enter the region for their particular reasons, driven by the relations between different countries, the economic situation, the investments in the African continent. And we probably will face more APT actors present in the African continent.
Cybersecurity and cyber threats are increasing on the African continent as the continent opens up to include more businesses.
Yes, welcome back from that international story. It's just 5 days to the start of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations that is to be hosted by Cameroon. Yours truly, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC, is at hand to provide live coverage on all its platforms that will cover all Ugandans. All 52 games will be relayed on the 4 stations, marshaled by the premier UBC TV and also carried on Star TV for the Uganda audience, while Magic 1HD and U24 target the young people. As if that's not enough, all the radio stations at the nation's public broadcaster, including Star FM and Butevo, not forgetting Radio West, will be at hand to ensure Ugandans do not miss a second. The Africa Cup of Nations is the flagship soccer showpiece of the continent that has, over the past 32 editions, provided some of the best talent. This 33rd edition will have 24 nations, including reigning champions Morocco, that edged Senegal in a thrilling final last time out in Egypt. Teenage Roma forward Felix Afenagian has not been included in Ghana's final squad for the Africa Cup of Nations, which starts in Cameroon on Saturday. The 18-year-old, who is yet to make his international debut at Clermont midfielder Salis Abdul Samed are the 2 players from the Black Stars provisional 30-man squad to drop out. Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey and Crystal Palace forward Jordan Ayew are in the travelling party, while Ajax midfielder Mohamed Kudus is also on the list, despite his Dutch club naming him for a training camp in Portugal this week. Leicester City defender Daniel Amati, Reading pair Baba Rahman and Andy Yedom, and Swindon Town goalkeeper George Walcott who made his debut during last year's 2022 World Cup qualifiers. They are the England best players selected. Coach Milovan Rojevic took charge of the Black Stars and is looking towards leading the West Africans to their 5th continental title. Ghana begins their Group C campaign against Morocco on Monday and then face Gabon and Comoros. We thank you so much for watching. That is all we had for you tonight. My name is Micheal Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakoni. We wish you the best of the night. We'll leave you with our colleague Magezi here, who has the weather forecast report.
Come today's weather broadcast brought to you by Uganda National Meteorological Authority in conjunction with UBC. I'm Magezi Africano, your today's presenter. There have been a reduction in wet conditions in our country, and most of the country is experiencing the hazy conditions. A satellite picture over Africa shows the rain belt is far in the southern sector, and from the Congo forests, we are experiencing moist conditions that are causing the cloudiness we are experiencing in the country. Tomorrow in the morning, we expect around Lake Victoria light rains, but elsewhere in the country, we expect a mixture of clouds and sunny conditions. In the afternoon, we expect most of the country to experience a mixture of sunny and cloudy conditions. Because of that, we expect the highest temperatures to rise highest in Karamoja with 34 degrees Celsius. In Kampala City, we expect 28 degrees Celsius, and in the highlands of Kigezi, we expect 25 degrees Celsius. Elsewhere across the globe, we expect Moscow to experience very cold conditions with ice. Nairobi, together with Dubai, we expect it to have a mixture of cloudy conditions and sunny conditions. New York is expected to have light rains. Thank you for being with us. Stay tuned.